guys, I'm Kara and welcome to K&C Geckos. Today's video is going to be a bit of a long one, but I'm going to be showing you all of the baby leopard geckos that I have. This is not including about 20 that have already found a home, but it's going to be showing you all the ones that I currently still have and all the ones that are available on my morphmarket and my website. I am still expecting about 10 or so that haven't hatched yet, so I'm sure I'll show those in a later video, but for now, here are all the leopard geckos that are available. Alright, so the first baby I have to show is this one. This is a female super hypo tangerine carrot tail. She has really great carroting on her tail, which is why I decided to keep her. Plus she was my only female, except for one other that I might keep. And I really like her. I think she's beautiful and she's going to be a great addition to my tangerine projects. So next up I have this female here. She is a Tremper Eclipse, otherwise known as Raptor. Usually raptors are orange, but she is a bright yellow, so she's kind of uncommon. I don't really see the yellow raptors all that often. I personally like them a lot more than the orange ones because I think they're kind of more unique, you know, harder to find. But she is a beautiful leopard gecko. She's getting close to adult size and she does really well with handling. And her eyes are actually both snake eyes, which is pretty cool. So next up we have this bold cross. His parents were a bold stripe and eclipse, so he's not a full bold stripe, but he definitely has a lot of bold influence on his pattern. He's het eclipse and 66% possible het tremper. Next up we have his sibling. So he is the exact same morph as the previous one, a bold cross, het eclipse, and 66% possible het tremper. This one I am actually keeping. I personally think he was the best one out of all the pairing, but he has really great stripes down his tail and decent stripes down his body. My plan for him is to pair him up with another bold het eclipse female and try and work on bold eclipses. I've only ever really seen them once or twice. A lot of people don't work with them, but they are some of the most beautiful geckos. So my goal is to eventually have a line of bold eclipses. This little guy here is another one of my holdbacks. He's a red stripe, white and yellow, het eclipse and tremper. He is a funky little gecko with the strangest pattern, but I personally think he's super beautiful and there's just something about him that I'm so in love with, so had to keep this little guy around. He's always done really well with handling, which I think is another reason why I like him. He's just so chill. Next up we have the sibling to the yellow raptor I showed earlier. This guy is just a tremper. He's not a raptor, but he also has that really bright yellow color. He may not be showing the eclipse gene, but he is het for it, so he could be used to create other yellow raptors in the future. This here is another one of my bold crosses, so it is het eclipse and 66% chance het tremper. He has a little bit of a funky jungle pattern, but for the most part, he kind of just looks like a normal leopard gecko. But because of his hets, he could really make some awesome babies. Here we have another female super hypo tangerine carrot tail. She is actually available, and she's my only female available for this year. So if you're looking for one to add to your tangerine projects, better snag her because I've only got the one. These next two babies are very baby babies. They are only about, I think, a month old, maybe a month and a week old. They're still very fresh. This first one here is a Max Snow Eclipse. She has a really cool pattern, so I'm excited to see her develop. And here is the clutch mate. This one is just a normal, but it is het tremper and 66% chance het eclipse. Next up we have this dude here, and he is just a tangerine. He has the coolest pattern. He kind of has like green bands. I think it's really neat. and they're outlined in some deep tangerine lines. So here is my biggest bold cross. He is a big boy. He has really nice bold markings, and he has that really odd eyeball head stamp, but he's super chill. He's het eclipse and 66% possible chance het trimper. So here we have another little baby. This is a super hypo tangerine carrot tail, or at least if she loses those spots, she will be considered that. And if she does lose those spots, I'm keeping her, and if she doesn't, then she will be up for sale. So here's another little crazy baby tangerine, and if it holds still, I'll show it to you guys. But this one would be considered a super hypo tangerine. It's pretty much just lost all of those spots, and they will disappear here within the next couple of sheds. It's a male, and it is for sale. This here is a Max Snow Raptor. It's got really pastel colors, which I really like. But basically this little guy is Max Snow, Trimper, and Eclipse all expressed at the same time. Here is another little tangerine. Of course he's in shed, so he's normally a lot brighter than this, but he is a little dull just because he's about to become a new man. But yeah, he's just a super hypo tangerine, and he does not want to be on film. Okay, say goodbye, little dude. And here's his sibling. This guy is a hypo tangerine. He might eventually become a super hypo if he loses those spots, but considering his size, he hasn't lost them yet. I think he's just going to be a hypo. But he's a interesting kind of like burnt sienna orange color, I guess I would say. He's really cute. He's actually being pretty calm today. Normally this guy's wild like his sibling that you just saw. So this guy here is a Max Snow Bell Albino, 66% possible het eclipse. Whoop! He is just a gorgeous gecko. I really am trying to focus on Bell Albinos that have more of those pink, purpley colors and pastel yellows, if almost white. And he is close to how I'd like them to be. So this here is another Bell Albino, 66% possible het eclipse. He's a keeper, and the reason I'm keeping him is because of this little pattern right there. I'll throw up a picture of the mom. I am trying to maybe breed that out. I don't know if it's possible, but seeing this little guy here makes me think I can eventually get there, so I am keeping him to eventually try and bring that pattern out more. And of course my favorite gecko of all is in shed for this video, which is very annoying, so I'll throw up a picture of him. But he's a Max Snow Bell Albino Eclipse, and he's just beautiful. He's got a lot of purple in him, perfect stripe down the body, so I had to keep him. So this guy here is from a Raptor Red Stripe cross. I don't really know what to call him. I've been calling him a jungle because he has a bit of a jungle pattern, but as he gets older it's disappearing and he kind of just looks like a normal leopard gecko, but he does have a little bit of red stripe coming through on those sides. He is het eclipse and het trimper. So this guy here is a white and yellow, I guess sort of, again, a jungle. He is het eclipse and het trimper. He's normally a lot brighter than this, so I think he's probably going into shed. I will pop up a picture of him on the screen of how he looks when he's at his brightest. Here's that guy's clutch mate. He is a red stripe, white and yellow trimper, het eclipse. He also seems to be a little dull right now, so I believe he's going to be going into shed too. So here's a picture of how he looks when he's his brightest. This guy is a gorgeous gecko, and he would be great for any white and yellow project. So this guy here is a Radar, which is a Bell Albino Eclipse, and he has a really awesome reverse stripe down the back. He's actually already found a home and he'll be leaving in a couple of days to go to his new home, but I wanted to include him in the video because he is one of my twins from this year. I call them twins even though there's no such thing as twins for leopard geckos because him and his clutch mate look exactly alike, and I just wanted to show you guys how similar they do look. So here is his twin. The only difference between the two is this guy isn't an eclipse, so he's just a bell albino. So his pattern's slightly different, but they still have the exact same reverse stripe down the back and head stamp and all that. They're very similar. But this guy is also still available. So this guy here is my one Trimper Bull cross, and I was really excited to hatch this guy because it meant my female was indeed het Trimper. And I only got one, but I only needed one to prove that gene out. So here we have the Trimper Bull cross het eclipse. So this beauty here is a female eclipse het Trimper. She's a beautiful girl. This little one here is an eclipse. I'm not going to disclose any other genetics because this one is a pet only. The reason this little guy is a pet only is because his clutch mate hatched out with a severe neurological problem. I don't know what caused it. I don't know of any white and yellow in the line that they were bred from. I was never disclosed of that information, although it seemed like white and yellow syndrome. So the parents have been retired and babies are being sold as pet only. Here we have another Tangerine. This guy is beautiful, lovely solid orange, and his tail has quite a bit of carroting on it. So this guy here is my favorite Tangerine that I hatched this year. Reason being because he's very unique. He has these orange and green bands. I've not hatched one quite like this guy before. And he doesn't have hardly any markings on him. The ones on his head, I imagine, are going to disappear as all the other ones on his body have. But he's just a really cool little dude. I wish I could keep him, but I really don't have a use for him, so whoever gets him, you're getting a special little dude. So the next two here are some hatchlings. This is a Max Snow, possible het eclipse and Trimper. These guys are not very old. They hatched out Christmas Eve, so they are just about a week and a half to 2 weeks now. And here's the sibling. The sibling is a Trimper albino, also possible het eclipse. I thought it might be an eclipse when it hatched out, but it does not have the eclipse gene. I think this little girl here is going to end up looking a lot like her mom. So here's the final bell albino for the day. This one is a bell albino Max Snow, possible het eclipse. It has some of the most gorgeous pastel purples and yellows that I have seen out of this pairing. It's not an eclipse, which is what confuses me, because normally I would think to see these pastels with the eclipse gene, but it doesn't have that gene. So he's just a really unique little dude. Finally, the last baby I'd like to show you guys here is this Trimper albino, possible het eclipse. This little guy is missing a couple of the tips of his toes on his front arms. This is just due to him having a really bad shed. He managed to wrap all his skin around his toes and cut off the circulation. However, this does not affect him in any way. He's still able to get around. He's just a little bit different. And he has a permanent middle finger on his right arm. Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you saw one that you liked in particular, follow the link below. It's going to send you to my morphmarket page. I've got everything laid out there, all the details and everything you need to know about the gecko. So if you're looking to purchase one, please follow that link. Currently it's pretty cold in most areas, so shipping times are limited, but if you want to purchase one, you can. I will hang on to it for as long as I need to before we can find a window where I can ship it to you. Alright, so that's everything. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.